Hello everyone, so for today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to crochet this really cute cupid's bow. I'll be showing you how to crochet the bow, the arrow and the heart. Well, not necessarily crochet because the only thing crochet out of this is the heart, but I really like how it gives you that yarn feel and it's a super cute prop or anything you want to use it for decorations. So what you'll need is a couple of different colors of yarn, and this depends on your color scheme. So for mine, the bow is pink, the arrow is white, and the heart is red. You can obviously change up these colors to whatever color scheme you like. For the actual bow itself, you will need a hanger that's conveniently broken, like this one. I would recommend the hangers that you get in shops when you buy a top or something. Next time you buy a top, just be like, I'll take the hanger as well, because those usually don't have this kind of bottom part. If you do have a hanger like this that's already broken and you're trying to get this off, please do be careful and don't hurt yourself. For the actual arrow itself, you want to use a barbecue stick. This one is quite thin. This one on the other hand is quite thick, but if you like the look you can always use a thinner one. It's completely your choice. You'll also need a pair of scissors, and I'll be using a 5mm crochet hook for the actual heart. With the help of my mum, I have gotten this hanger broken into two parts. Again, I do recommend just using those store hangers when you have a chance, because you can cut yourself in these. For this part I'm going to be using some pink yarn, and again it is very simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I get my hot glue gun all nice and hot and plugged in, and then I'm just going to glue down a little bit on the tip here. And what I'll do now is, once I've glued it down, I'm just showing you what I do before I actually glue it down. I'm just going to make a little tie, make a double knot. It's okay if a little bit of the end of the hanger is exposed, because once all of this is glued down you can kind of glue down some yarn to hide the end. Again, you can also just hide these with the butterfly applique. And then once you've glued this part down, you kind of want to flip your hanger, and then you just want to go over that tail end and just keep wrapping your pink yarn around the hanger just to cover it all up and make it look pink. Another way to kind of shorthand this is buying one of these hangers in pink and just not wrapping around a yarn around it. But again, this kind of makes it feel more crocheted and more fun. So you just want to keep doing that and kind of just covering all the surface. What I did is I did it all the way up to here, glued that down, and then started from this side and then did it all the way up to there, because I just needed a break from wrapping the yarn around the hanger. And I also do recommend, once you've wrapped around a little bit, get your glue gun, apply a little bit of glue, and then carry on wrapping more. Get your glue gun and apply a little bit more glue, and then just carry on wrapping around. This kind of just prevents it from unraveling. And also don't worry about this part, I kind of just wrap my yarn around that part as well. So what I did is I just wrapped a lot of yarn around it, but you can make an applique, mini heart applique or a mini ball, and then just put it on top. So yeah, you want to carry on doing that, wrapping it all the way around, and make sure you glue it quite nicely at the end and tie off. So it's kind of the same for the actual arrow itself as well. I think just doing the actual bow part and the arrow part of this pattern slash tutorial is super easy. It's just a heart you kind of need to know. So what I like to do is kind of just start from either end. It's your choice completely, and do the same thing. So I'm just going to tie down this yarn and make a double knot. And then I'll keep wrapping downwards, and I'll wrap over that tail end and glue down as I go, kind of pull on that knot a little bit more to hide it, and then I'll just keep wrapping it around and around and just pushing the stitches together to make it look neat, and do it all the way until the end. To be fair, I do recommend starting from this end, the pointy end of your barbecue sticks, because you'll be hiding that part with the heart. And then again, keep gluing it down on the stick as you wrap, and then once you get to the bottom, tie off, wrap your ends, and you're finished with your stick. So because I kind of pushed the stitches really close together, this is what the stick kind of looks like all wrapped. So now that we have both the bow and the arrow all wrapped up, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I make the heart. So to start off with the heart, you want to go ahead and make a magic circle, just like so. So I like to make sure that my tail end is on the left hand side, just so I can crochet over it. So to start off, for round 1 we're going to chain 3, and to chain you want to yarn over and pull through. So 1, 2 and 3. And now I'm going to make 3 treble crochets into the magic circle, and I'm going to remember to crochet over my tail end. So to make a treble crochet, you want to yarn over 2 times. So I've yarned over once, and then I'll yarn over again. Go into the magic circle, I'll yarn over and pull through, I'll yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on my hook, then I'll yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops on my hook, and then again pull through, yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops on my hook. That's how you make a treble crochet. If you want to do that 2 more times, just go ahead and make sure you yarn over twice and yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time. So it's my first set of 2 loops, my second and my third. That's my second double crochet done. I'm going to go ahead and make my last double crochet. And now we want to go ahead and make 4 double crochets. So to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, go into the magic circle, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops on your hook, just like so. I'm going to repeat that again. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to go into the magic circle, going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops on my hook, and there we go. Again, I'll do that 2 more times to make my third and my 4th double crochet. So now I'm going to make 1 treble crochet, just like so, and then I will make 4 double crochets. So this is a heart and we've basically done one side. We're just going to mirror what we've just done for the other side. So I'm going to make 4 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, I'm just going to make 3 treble crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And you want to make sure that you're yarning over 2 times for every treble crochet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on that tail end to make the magic circle smaller. When you pull on the tail end, make sure you're kind of holding onto your crochet work while you pull it. And you want to kind of pull it all the way. And there we go. And now I'm just going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and make a slip stitch into the magic circle, just like so. Pull on that tail end a little bit more. Okay, so that's our first round complete. For our second round, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets in this chain 3 space. So you might be thinking, where is the chain 3 space? This is the chain 3 that we made at the start of our previous round, and this is the first treble crochet we made at the start of our previous round. The gap between the chain 3 and that treble crochet is our chain 3 space. So in that space, I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So to make a single crochet, I'm going to go into the space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on my hook, just like so. That's our first single crochet, and then again, go into that gap or that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on my hook for my second single crochet. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. So to make a half double crochet, you yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. In the next stitch, you'll make a double crochet. So to make a double crochet, you yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops on your hook. And now in the next stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So 1, go back into that same stitch and make a second double crochet. And then in the next 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch. So 1 double crochet in that first stitch, 1 double crochet in that second stitch, 1 double crochet in that third stitch, and 1 double crochet in that 4th stitch. And now what I'm going to do is in this treble crochet here, I'm going to make 1 double crochet. In that same stitch, I'm going to make 1 treble crochet. And then again, in that same stitch, I'm going to make 1 double crochet. I accidentally yarned over twice. So now we're going to mirror what we did here for this side. So in the next 4 stitches, we're going to make 1 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like so. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to make 2 double crochets in that same stitch. So 1 and 2. And now in that next stitch, I'm going to make 1 double crochet. in that next stitch I'm going to make 1/2 double crochet. Oops, it's kind of difficult to get into that last stitch sometimes. And now in the chain 3 gap between that treble crochet and the chain 3 that we made at the end of the round actually, I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So it's kind of hard to kind of find it sometimes, you have to look really closely. If I just show you what it looks like, you can kind of see here that there's that chain 3 space, and you can see here there's that first treble crochet. So I'm just going to go in between those 2 stitches and make my 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2. If I just show you what it looks like, you can kind of see here that there's that chain 3 space, and you can see here there's that first treble crochet. So I'm just going to go in between those 2 stitches and make my 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2. And now I'm going to chain 1 and then slip stitch in that first chain 1 we made at the start of the round. Just like so. So that is our second row done, and we actually only have 1 more row left to crochet. So now for round 3, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to make 1 single crochet into that first stitch, just like so, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets into the second stitch, so 1, and go back into that same stitch and make your second single crochet. Now I'm going to make 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then I'm going to make 2 double crochets in the same stitch for 2 stitches. So in that first stitch I'm going to make 2 double crochets, 1, go back into that same stitch and make a second double crochet, and then again in that second stitch I'm going to go and make 2 double crochets, so 1 double crochet, go back into that same stitch and make a second double crochet. Now I'm going to go ahead and just make 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, so 1 and 2, and now in that third stitch I'm going to make 2 double crochets in the same stitch, so 1 and 2, and then again I'm going to make 1 double crochet in that next stitch, and then I'll be making 1 double crochet in the next stitch, go back into that same stitch, make a treble crochet, and then I'll go back into that same stitch again and make a double crochet. Because this is a heart that is symmetrical, we'll carry on and repeat what we did on this side for the side we're going to carry on crocheting. So again, what I'll be doing is I will make a double crochet in the next stitch, then I'll be making 2 double crochets in the same stitch for the next stitch, so 1, go back into that same stitch and make your second double crochet, and then for the next 2 stitches I will make 1 double crochet into each stitch, so 1 double crochet into that first stitch, 1 double crochet into that second stitch, and then for the next 2 stitches here I will be making 2 double crochets in each stitch, so 1, go back into that same stitch and make your second double crochet, and then in that next stitch 1 double crochet and go back into that same stitch and make your second double crochet, and then lastly in that next stitch I'm going to make 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch I'll make 1/2 double crochet, and then in the next stitch I'm going to make 1 single crochet into that first stitch, no, I'm going to make 2 single crochets into that first stitch, sorry, and then I'm going to go ahead and make 1 single crochet into that next stitch, then we'll chain 1 and we'll slip stitch into the first chain 1 of the round. It is a little bit hard to go into this chain 1 sometimes when you make them at the start of the round, and this is what your heart should kind of look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull on that magic circle end as well, just to keep it nice and tight, and I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook back in and just kind of cut off the end, and then I will go ahead and yarn over and pull through to make a knot. And then what I do here is I take that top end here and tie it with the magic circle end. Tie it nice and tight so you kind of get like a nice little indent. So yeah, tie it nice and tight, and that kind of emphasizes the little dip between in the middle of the heart. So this is what your crocheted heart should look like so far. And again, you want to follow this pattern one more time to make your second panel, and then we'll be using single crochets to stitch them together. So once you have both your heart panels, you can start by crocheting them together. So I actually crocheted these both off camera, and I kind of redid the one that I already made, so they end up kind of becoming quite loose. Again, please do be careful with your tension, because you do want your hearts to be like this, nice and tight with not a lot of gaps in them. But I'll be using these anyway. So basically, when you crochet your heart panels together, you have a right side and you have a wrong side. So the right side is the side you want everyone to see, and the wrong side is the side you don't want anyone to see, basically. So the advantage of this, because we are putting two panels together, you don't have to tie off your ends. You can just make a little knot, a double knot like I showed you before, and then just hide them there. And then you can put the two wrong ends together and kind of like, you know, no one's ever going to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep this side as my wrong end, even though I got glue on this side, because I did make a little mistake with one of the stitches here. For this, we're going to put both of our right sides together. The only reason why is because we're going to turn this inside out, and we don't want the seam to be showing. So I didn't tie off at the end of my second heart, but if you did, that's okay. You can just insert your hook into any stitch and carry on as normal. So I'm going to be starting from the first single crochet of the round. So you want to make sure your hook is inserted into the first single crochet of the round on both sides, and then you want to go into each stitch and kind of yarn over and pull through to make a single crochet. So let me just go into that first single crochet in this round, and then I'll go into the first single crochet of this round, just like so. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull through the two panels, and then yarn over and pull through the two loops on my hook like so to make a single crochet. Then I'll go into that second stitch of the first panel, the second stitch of the second panel, and just do the same thing. You can also sew them together if you like, but I just prefer to kind of crochet them together just like so. And you kind of want to make sure you go into both panels when you stitch them together and don't miss any stitches. So you want to go into the next stitch on both sides and make sure that both stitches are aligned together. And if I kind of just flip it around, you can see like this is what it will look like on the outside, so you won't even be able to tell. Also, I had to practice before, so there's a lot of stuffing. You also need stuffing for this tutorial, which I completely forgot to tell you about. You can also use any leftover or scrapped yarn. I recommend just using like a little nice handful, not too much, but just enough to keep it nice and fluffy. So what I'm going to tell you to do is I'll tell you to just keep going into the stitches on both sides on each panel of the heart actually. So on both panels of the heart, keep going into every stitch just like this and making a single crochet to stitch them together. And I would just carry on until you're about 3/4 of the way through. So I'll go all the way around and then just stop around here, just leaving a nice little gap so we can turn this inside out and we can stuff it. I've basically just single crocheted all the way around, and just, you know, don't worry about how messy it looks. And I've kind of just left this really small opening. I know I said before you should leave around 3/4, but honestly you want to leave the smallest gap as possible. The smaller the gap the better, especially because we're trying to hide the seam. So I'm just going to actually make one more stitch in there. Now I'm going to just stretch out my yarn and then turn this whole thing inside out, and because we left a small gap it will be a little bit difficult. So I'm just turning it all inside out. Again, like the fewer stitches you leave, the harder it will be. Okay, there we go. And then make sure all of your tail ends are in there. And you want to get a really nice amount of stuffing. I kind of just measured it to be the same size as this heart. And again, the smaller you make your gap, the harder it will be to stuff. So keep that in mind. I do recommend keeping a small gap though. I like to just use my crochet hook to shove everything in. And you want to do that until you kind of get everything in there, like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to single crochet those last few stitches. So I'm going to go into this first stitch here and make a single crochet, and then again into that second stitch. Kind of hard to get into the last stitches, especially if they were the single crochet stitches. Again, this depends on your tension. And then I'm just going to go into the middle and make a slip stitch. So the middle basically being the chain one that we made. Oh no, the middle is just the chain one that we made at the start of the last round, so it can be a little bit hard to get into. Once you've gotten into the middle, you just want to go ahead and make a slip knot, and then you can pull through to make a knot. And here I'm just kind of evening out the stuffing in the heart and just shaping it to how I want it to look like. So now you want to weave in your crochet hook from the bottom of the heart to the middle part, and just get that tail end and just weave it into the heart, and then just shove the tail end in there. Because you don't really need to tie it off, you can just keep it in there and it will still be secure. And this is what your heart will look like. You can kind of just mess around with it, play around with it to kind of get it to the shape that you want. And now I'm just going to get the pointy end of the stick that we wrapped our yarn around and just literally twist it into the heart. I'm just doing this to kind of make the gap a bit bigger, but you want to make sure that you have some hot glue on the end of your stick before you insert it into the heart. Make sure you get about like an inch or at least half an inch of your stick into the heart before you let your glue dry. And this is what your heart and the arrow should look like. And for the string part of the bow, I literally just got some white yarn and made a knot on both sides. I just used a little bit of hot glue to kind of keep the end secure, and then I cut the yarn really closely to the knot. And that is basically your bow and arrow finished. You can go ahead and make any appliques you want to decorate it. I made a little bow at the end of the arrowhead because I just thought, like, you know, it would pull it all together. Anything to make it even cuter. And yeah, I'm so sorry that the assembling of the bow and arrow was quite short. I just kind of wanted to make it short and sweet because I think it is simple, and I also do have a lot of ideas for appliques you can decorate your bow with. Please like and subscribe and comment any applique ideas you may have that you want to decorate your bows with, and I'll definitely make a part 2 to this video and show you how to crochet different appliques like these butterflies. Thank you for watching. Bye!